here after the first break.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the games so far this year. I was at the Powell game and I was at the Oak Ridge game, and you can tell they're really senior driven. They're wanting that. They're the ones that are leading the younger players getting up. Evan's been lights out so far this year. He was lights out on the football field. He just transitioned over to his natural sport.
Right, a special group of seniors, and we'll be chatting with them here in a little bit. But what you think about the national championship game the other night? LSU taking down Clemson.
I didn't get to watch as much of it as I thought I was going to get to, but that second half you couldn't stop the LSU offense. Joe Burrows showed why he was the Heisman winner and why he's going to be one of the top, if not the top draft pick this year.
Right, what a season he had. Probably the best season of a college quarterback ever. You know, it's been mentioned. Just 60 touchdown passes, over 5,600 yards passing. It's incredible.
Yeah, and then on the other side you had Clemson with T. Higgins, who announced today that he was going to go on to the NFL and forego his senior season. You also have Amari Rodgers over there, and you had Trevor Lawrence, who lost his first game as a starter with Clemson.
Right, it was an incredible matchup. Clemson coming in had won 29 straight. Of course, they were defending champions, and LSU, you know, was undefeated as well. So it was a really fun night to watch college football, and it didn't disappoint, you know, especially in the playoffs. You had Clemson come back against Ohio State. That was really a good game as well.
Then you had the LSU blowout of Oklahoma, and this game proved why they were the top two teams. Evenly matched first half. It was just LSU in the second half. Then also this weekend you had the NFL playoffs. I know you weren't too happy on Saturday after the Vikings went down.
Right, a little disappointed. Didn't get my hopes up. I was, you know, we beat New Orleans, so wasn't really expecting that. And then going into San Francisco, but still a little disappointed. But the 49ers looked really tough. And what about the Titans? You think they can knock another team off?
Yeah, you hear Dylan in the back go, he's rooting for the Titans. I think they can. They've won the last two against Kansas City, and if they can win on Sunday at 3 o'clock, they'll have beat the top 4 seeds in the AFC in consecutive order and all on the road.
Right, I heard them mention some of the names they have took down, Brady, and then probably the MVP, Lamar Jackson, and, you know, this Sunday you got Patrick Mahomes.
And then they beat the team with Deshaun Watson in Week 17, even though Watson didn't play that game.
Right, that was an incredible comeback by the Chiefs, down 24-0, and
they were just playing a game. They knew that they had that game wrapped up. They just didn't want to give their hand in the first quarter.
Yeah, I didn't know when they got that lead. I said, well, the Texans may go ahead and win this, you know, but
Mahomes shows why he's the defending MVP.
They got a few breaks, and they were back in the game before you know it, you know, run off 41 straight points.
So Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock game is the Chiefs and the Titans, and then San Francisco and Green Bay on the night game. Who would you pick to win both of those?
Who am I picking?
Yeah.
Well, I'll wait and tell you at the end of the show.
Hey, I had to try there, right?
I don't want to make Dylan upset, but
Oh, so we already know which game you're.
well, I don't know.
We know which way you're leaning then, as of right now. Dylan, you may have a chance during the first break to change his mind.
But the Green Bay and Seattle, it was another good game, and it's a good matchup with the Packers going out to San Francisco. Aaron Rodgers, boy, he can just get a pass off anyway. They talk about how Mahomes can get rid of a pass, but you know, Rodgers, he's about the same way. You know, he's.
And, you know, the thing about the head coach was the Titans' offensive coordinator from last year. So you got Tennessee as Green Bay's head coach. So there's a chance that you could theoretically have the former head coach and the Titans playing each other, or the former offensive coordinator for Green Bay playing the Titans in the Super Bowl. His first year as a head coach, he's not only in his late 30s.
Right, and you've got three new coaches, pretty basically right now here in the semifinals. Of course, you got Andy Reid at Kansas City.
Yeah.
But all the other new coaches, Vrabel for the Titans, and other two coaches.
Although Vrabel won 3 Super Bowls with New England as a player, so he's been there before. He knows the mindset on how to get there and what he needs to do. That's probably one thing that's helping the Titans out right now.
And talking a little bit about college basketball, Tennessee Vols are down 47-28 at halftime to Georgia down at the Stegman Coliseum.
After getting we didn't know what to expect when they got Euros eligible this week. He's been playing well, but they say he's not used to this speed yet. He played in Arizona. He was on Arizona State's team last year, but he redshirted, so he didn't get to play game style speed. And now he's playing SEC style. First game, just like the player, I'm blanking on his name, the player from Australia. That started 6 days after he landed in the country.
Right. Saw some of the game before I left the house, and I saw him in, but didn't get to see much. But I don't think he's going to be a player that can run up and down the court. I mean, he's pretty agile, but I don't think you're going to see a game changer. But I definitely think he'll help Tennessee because they need the size inside.
Yeah, especially after losing their point guard for the rest of his career, basically. They've needed extra people on that team. Bowden hadn't stepped up just yet like he needed to.
Right, he's been in the big-time slump, and, of course, you got Vescovi coming in. He's been godsend, I think, to Coach Barnes, and if we didn't have him, we'd probably be 0-3 in the conference instead of 2-1, but Tennessee going up against Anthony Edwards, number 1 rated player last year coming out of high school. He's really making an impact for the Bulldogs. They knocked off Memphis earlier a few weeks ago, so really taking it to Tennessee right now.
Yeah, we'll keep updated on that during the commercial breaks, and during the next segment we'll keep an update on that game and just see how it does, and we'll let you know as soon as that one's over as well, and I'll figure out what the stats were for that game.
Okay, well, we're going to take our first break, and we'll be back with the Clinton High School Dragons boys basketball team and Coach Chris Lockard, and we'll be back just in a few minutes.
At Earl Duff Subaru, our reputation has been built on taking care of customers. We're Tennessee's only 8-time winner of the Subaru Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. This year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. This means you can be sure you'll have an excellent experience when you visit our store and be proud you're dealing with a company that gives back to local causes. Read our online reviews and come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
The all-new 2020 Outback is available now with financing as low as 0.9% at Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great. Participate.
Really? Again? Hey, if I had automotive style suspension like the new Simplicity, plus a free floating mower deck for the best cut, I'd be all that too.
Well...
And if I had the expertise and advice of his Simplicity dealer, maybe he'd look forward to hanging out with me.
You don't have a Simplicity dealership.
Good point. Huh.
Yeah.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat. We're joined in studio right now by Clinton Dragon head basketball coach Chris Lockard. Coach, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here and bringing your senior players in with you.
Well, thanks for having us, Sleepy. We love to get out and let the kids get to talk and say what they're experiencing. A lot of people don't get to interact with our kids very often, so this is a great opportunity. Thank you so much.
Well, if you would, let's talk a little bit about yourself and your coaching career. I know you've been at Clinton now quite some time.
A long time. Sometimes I get confused how long I've been there. I've grown up in Clinton High School, since Dad came to Clinton and started coaching after he left Oneida. I've grown up in that gym and in that school, and it's been a big part of my entire life, the basketball program as well as all the other sports programs. But coming back to coach with my dad was a great opportunity and a lot of fun. It never was really in my plans to stay there and to come back and coach here, but it worked out and it's been great, and I've been there for quite a long time. We've won a lot of games and had a lot of excitement, and over the years it goes so quick, and you start thinking back about some of the guys that you've had and you coached, and now their kids are coming up and you're coaching them, and so there's a lot of great memories and a lot of great times, and hopefully I can continue to stay there and do this for as long as possible. I've had a great opportunity being able to coach both of my sons coming through the program. This group of kids that we have right now, obviously my son Chase is a senior, and his group of guys that we brought in tonight, I've watched these guys play from bitty leagues all the way to middle school and high school. So sometimes that's difficult. You have that connection with them off the court, and you want them to succeed so much. A lot of times you have to step back and say, wait a minute, I'm your coach, not your father all the time. And so I have a great relationship with these guys, as I always try to do with all of our teams. But, I love it here. I love our atmosphere at Clinton in all of our sports. We've had some changes over the years. We've got us a new football coach now, and I think that the changes there can be very positive for us. New baseball coach, I think those changes are going to be positive. And we've had a lot of long-timers too, like Susan Zellner, who's been there for a long time. And I love our school. One of our former players, Caleb Tipton, is now the principal. Dr. Tipton does a wonderful job for us. And so you see, if you come into the school, you'll see a lot of alumni that are teaching there now. So it's a place that obviously people hold close to their heart, and people that are from there, that work there, have a vested interest. And so I think that pushes the envelope a little bit to be a little bit more successful in sports and out of sports.
Right, Chris, of course, your father is Don Lockard, a longtime coach at Clinton. He coached when I was in school there in the 70s, and of course your father, he coached in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. How many years did he end up with?
He ended up with 32 total. Now, he coached a year at Oneida, and then he had a year up in Illinois, but he was at Clinton for 32. 4 of those we did together, although I was the interim coach there the last bit. But
Right, you was with him a couple years.
yeah, we had a pretty good run together. I believe we won about 118 games and lost 11 in about a 4-year span there. So we were blessed with some really good players too. We had some great players. Caleb Tippin and his brother being one of them, and the Dye and Shepherds, and we had some really good, talented players and had a great run. But he was a phenomenal coach, very good motivator, and a lot of an innovator as well. A lot of the things that he did, not many people did in high school. Things that he just thought and found and grew and built on his own. So, a lot of things there that goes into the coaching part. You can't reinvent the wheel every year, but at Clinton, sometimes you have to find a way and find things that fit your style of kids and your athletes and what can make them most successful. I think Dad was great at that. He saw a lot of untapped potential in kids and was able to pull that out. I think I'm more of a motivator. I try to get the kids to find it on their own. Today's kids are a little different. They have a different way of succeeding, and so I think I try to make it come from within instead of an external motivation. I try to teach them to motivate themselves. So just changing in the times. That's one thing that he left me with when he retired. In high school, you've got to be able to adapt and adjust year in and year out to your athletes and to the way the kids are changing. And so I've tried to follow that all these years, and so I think that's helped us. I think that shows when the end of the season comes, when tournament time's here, I think we've been able to be very successful.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, the gymnasium is named after your father, Don W. Locker Gymnasium, and the Donnie Dome, I like to call it. And
I did too.
How many wins did your father have? I know you recently, I think a few years ago, you went over the 300 win plateau, and your father is up in the 600s?
Dad had 6, counting his wins at the other schools. He was at 642, I believe is what it was.
You think you can get to that mark?
Well, right, we were talking about that the other day in the back office, and I'm right on track to where he was at about the same amount of years. So they played more games on their schedules back in the 70s. They had a bigger schedule. We don't play as many games. I always used to tell Dad before he passed away, I'll play anybody anywhere. I don't care how good you are. We'll meet you there and we'll play. You can come to our place and play, or we'll go up there. And he always laughed at me about that. But I don't know if my health holds up, and it's definitely something that's in my blood. I wake up every day getting to go teach high school and coach basketball, and I love it, and I want to be able to do it as long as I can.
Well, let's turn our attention now to your 6 seniors, a special group of seniors. Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. It's sort of a surreal moment for me, myself as the PA guy at Clinton. I've watched watched a lot of games, and I've saw y'all grow and develop over the years, even in middle school coming up. So this is an honor for me as well to have y'all here on the show tonight, and thank y'all for being here. My first question for you guys, I'd like for each of y'all to answer this is, of course, you've been part of the program 4 years at Clinton, and just talk about what that means to you to be a part of the Dragon program, and also playing for Coach Locker. I know, Chase, you got the microphone now. You're playing for your dad. So just talk about, playing for Clinton these 4 years and what it's meant to you.
It's special, especially getting to play for my own dad. I get to be with him all the time. I know I hear his voice all the time, so sometimes I kind of want to block him out. But the fans behind you, they're always there, and it's like you have a whole nother family whenever you come to the Dragon program, so it's just almost surreal.
I love it. I love every second of it. Just playing with all my friends. I don't know how to describe it, really. I just don't really have anything to describe it. So
you're sort of a legacy player. Trace, your dad played for Coach Don Lockard, so you're sort of carrying on the tradition as well.
Yeah.
Just like they said, every time I step out on the court, I just want to do the best I can just to represent Coach Lockard, Don Lockard, and all the fans, and especially my family, because they've been at every game since I was 3. My grandparents, both grandparents, have been at every game, so every time I step out on the court, I want to prove that I can be the best I can for them.
So, yeah, it's Evan Winchester. If you would just, when you just mention your name before you, some of the folks out there might know who you are, but of course we do.
I'm DeMarcus McCamey, and like they said, coming out on the court, all the fans are there 100% all night, and playing for Coach Lockard is amazing. He's like my second dad. He's always been there since I came into high school, and he's always been watching me since day one.
I'm Scholar, y'all, and like they said, it's a family when we step out there. We've been playing with them for as long as I can remember. It's fun to step out there, and like DeMarcus said, Coach is like a second dad to us. We can go in there and talk to him about anything we want to, and he'll always be there for us.
Hey, my name is Trevor Bryant, and it's always been special playing for Coach Lockard because he's always been around me since I was born, basically. And I remember stories my mom telling me about how his dad pushed her and she threw up at practice and everything. So I don't know, it's kind of been real memorable for me. He's been like a second dad to me also.
So your mom played?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that. Shout out to Sherry. Wasn't for Sherry, she's great. She's like the team mom. I like to kid her, but she does a terrific job. She's a photographer and just captures a lot of great moments over the.
You never see her without
right. She's amazing.
This is a question for all of you. What's one of your favorite memories since you started playing, since you're all seniors this year?
Honestly, my favorite memories is just spending time with the team. We've literally grew up together, and we go on big trips, just like that last Washington, D.C. trip we took. We're literally a family. We've been together since we were kids, and we know each other so well. We might fight here and there, but we'll always have each other's back, and these are literally my brothers since day one.
Yeah, I just gotta agree with Chase. Like all the trips we've taken and stuff, it's just gonna be memories that'll last a lifetime. And honestly, my favorite memory is probably just playing JV, just getting better. Those are some of the funnest memories I'll ever have playing basketball. But yeah.
I loved all the trips and all the things we did, but my favorite memory in high school basketball would have to be the night after that I beat Coach Lockard's assist record, because I've been hearing it since I've known him. You ain't going to beat my assist record. I'm going to take you out. You ain't going to beat it. But I knew he wouldn't, and the night I beat it was special.
My favorite time or event with the Dragons is when we went to Florida for a summer camp. The funnest camp we could ever go to. I mean, I had more fun on that camp than AAU camps, So.
Is that Boca Raton y'all went to?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You like it better than going to D.C.? It's a little bit different, I guess.
Yeah, they got their pros and cons. Both of them do. So.
Yeah, like they said, going on all these trips, it really brings us more together. Like the bond gets stronger, and it makes the family stronger when we out there in other places playing the sport that we all love to play. It's really special, and that's one of the favorite memories. Like DeMarcus says, the Florida camp. That was a really fun camp to go down there and go out to the beach all together.
I mean, like they said, my favorite memory is all of them, to be honest. I don't really have just one specific favorite memory because like Chase said, I've been with them all my life. They're like brothers to me. They're like the brothers I've never had. It's like family.
Okay, guys. Next question. What is the expectations for this season for the Dragons? And I preface this first, the question, y'all made the region last year, and also as freshmen, y'all made the region 2017. And last year as well, both years you're eliminated first round, and you go back to 2013, there was another trip to the region. So we basically had 3 region trips in the last 10 years. I'm sort of a big Dragon history guy. 2010, since they went to the region format where you can host a region game, that was the last time Clinton hosted a region game. That was a first round game. I think we played in Knoxville West. But just talk about your expectation this year for the team, and what you think, how far you think you can go.
I feel like we can go a lot further than what people think, even, because we're not even playing our best basketball yet, in my opinion. And I feel like we can win the district and even go on past the region to make it to sub-state and state. And that's what I even expect out of us, and I think we all expect that.
Yeah, I just agree with Chase. I think we can win district and go way farther than people have us predicted to. So, yeah, because we really aren't playing our best basketball. And there's some games we shouldn't have lost. But, I mean, those games don't matter. It's the district and everything after that is what matters. So
the expectation that I have for the team is to get back to Murfreesboro, where we went this summer. But each tournament game at a time, we just take it one at a time. We don't look to the next one. We focus on that one, win that, and go the next. And once we get to Murfreesboro, I think we'll all be satisfied.
Same thing as they all said. I want to go to state. And I know we can, because we're not a normal team. And in words, I can't describe that, but we'll just have to show you.
Like they said, our expectation is to go to state and prove everybody wrong, because if somebody looks at us, they really don't think that we'd be able to go to state. But like they said, we're not playing our best basketball right now. And when we hit our best basketball, then there's probably not going to be many teams that's going to be able to stop us.
Pretty much what like Skylar said and all of them. If you looked at us, we wouldn't look like we were that good, like if you didn't see us play. But when you start to see us play, you know we're hard workers and we want to work our butts off to get where we want. And I have a feeling that we will get to state this year if we try our butts off.
And this is a little bit of a harder question for you all. When you guys get ready, you've got that C. What does it mean to have that C on your shirt?
It's a privilege, actually. I feel like whenever I wear that, I need to represent our county, or just Clinton in general. I feel like we should on and off the court how we're good athletes, good students, and good kids in general. And just to have that C on your chest, it's a feeling that you really can't describe, because the atmosphere at Clinton is just different than any other place I've ever been.
It's just a real honor for me because, like Sleepy said, my family, my mom played at Clinton softball, my dad, my 2 older sisters, and then my younger sister's going to play. I've just had my whole family really has been through Clinton. It just means a lot to me to follow in their footsteps and play.
It means to sit up and act straight when you get on that Clinton C, because you want to represent it and just be on your best behavior regardless if you're on the floor, in the classroom, or out in public, because you just don't want to get a bad name for yourself or Clinton or your teammates or anyone. So
When I wear a C on my chest, I feel like I'm wearing the whole city on my back, you know? I'm representing the whole city. I'm representing the school, representing the, families, everybody in Clinton and everything in Clinton. And I have to do that proudly. Say that.
It's definitely a privilege to wear the Clinton C because there's tons of people that can't wear it anymore that would love to be able to come back and wear it, or people that can't wear it at all because numerous reasons. But it's definitely a privilege to wear it.
Definitely like Skylar and Chase and all them said. Whenever I wear this Clinton C on my chest, I just want to make the city proud and just put us on the map, you know? I just want to get our names out there.
Y'all certainly represent the school and the community. A+ for that. Just a great group of seniors and, just good young men. I'd like to ask you some individual questions now. We can start with Trevor. This goes out to you and Trace and DeMarcus. Y'all's work ethic. I've watched y'all the last few years and how much you've worked, and I know Trevor, you and Trace are cousins, and I just noticed how hard y'all have worked the last few years. For now, all of y'all are starters. So just talk about that, the work that you put in.
Marcus back here, he's like my brother. We've all been together since we were little, and it's always been put in our heads from Coach Lockard that we need to work hard every single play and make the next play like he always says. And that, honestly, it's helped a lot for him to say next play every time.
Because I know y'all have done a lot of individual workouts, had some other coaches, help in the summer or whatever, just working out on your own. I know I can just see the growth and development that y'all put in. So I compliment you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just anything I've ever done, I just want to do it 100%. So I kind of took the same approach to basketball. So I just work my hardest in practice, game. Like my dad always said, you practice like you play. So I practice the hardest I can. So when it comes game day, it's like nothing new to me.
Well, Tracy, you mentioned 100%. I know that's true. I know Coach Locker usually gives you the top defensive assignment each game. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So I know you enjoy playing defense and giving it your all.
Yes, sir. I just love helping my team win. I don't care about scoring or any of that. I mean, if I do, it's nice, but as long as I'm helping contribute in some aspect, then I'm fine with it.
What about that takedown last night?
Yeah.
They're going to get him on the wrestling team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just sometimes hustle plays lead to stuff like that. I don't know. It was just a rough, loose ball. I don't really get worked up about it. It was nothing.
You weren't going to give it up, were you?
Oh, no. He's going to be – I'm not letting it go.
Marcus is talking about your work ethic you put in each year. I know you probably had your best game last Friday night. I thought you and Trevor both really, y'all are key cogs in the Dragon lineups you play inside. Coach Locker likes for you to rebound and score in the paint, play defense, and I've seen that the last couple of weeks. Let's talk about that, about your progression this year.
Well, at first, I was going through some body changes with my weight, and I had to get used to that. And we've been working in practice every day, me and Trevor, and we just been busting our butts. I've never seen us work this hard as like post players. Like last year or the year before that, when we had Trayvon Hill and them, they didn't work as hard as we do. And I think that's what it takes to make good players, working hard for it.
What about that dunk you had last Friday? And that behind the back pass from midcourt.
Let's not talk about that one.
Well,
it was on target, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I can dunk. I just don't really get the chance in a game, and that was my first chance in a high school game. And that pass, I'm really not supposed to be dribbling the ball, and I wanted to get a little carried away with it, and I lost it. And somehow I just grabbed it, and I knew where Trace was. I seen him at the corner of my eye, and I just threw it to him. Got a good assist. So,
That's a good play.
yeah.
Skylar, I know you're a football guy, and but you also been part of the basketball program for 4 years. You come in, give a lot of toughness off the bench. Usually you play inside in the post. You're sort of undersized, but you know I know Coach Lockard has you on the team for your toughness. And let's talk about a little bit about your role.
Well, over the summer when we played, my main role was to go in and get offensive rebounds and set good screens. And it's kind of hard for like where I'm I'm undersized. Where like DeMarcus and Trevor, they're pretty good sized for post, and you just gotta be really tough to be down there. And it's hard at some points, but once you overcome that, it's fun.
Right. And you do that as well, so you're a big part of the team, and you have to be ready to answer the bell whenever Coach Lockard subs you in.
Yes.
Okay, I know we have two captains this year. Chase, you and Evan, captains of the team. Evan, I watched you over the years. Remember as you came in as a freshman, you were starting, I think, a lot of games, and it seemed like you shot a lot from outside back then. As you grown and developed and got a little older, I noticed now you take it to the hole a lot. You do. You still can knock down the three, but as your game has progressed, you know you're really tough to stop. Going inside in the paint, Coach Lockard has you doing a little bit of everything. I think you mentioned last night in his post game that he thought last night's game was maybe your most complete game yet as a Dragon. But just talk about as a captain and one of the leaders of the team. Do you feel any added pressure?
No, not exactly pressure. It holds me at a higher standard. I feel like I have to lead by example, because at first I wasn't as good of a vocal leader, but I think I've gotten better as years progress. But that just kind of comes with age, I think. But no, I don't really feel pressure. I just try to be the best I can.
What about you, Chase? As a captain, I don't want to really say pressure, but you know, to lead this team.
You just have to, like Evan said, lead by example, and you have to bring everybody up, even if it's bad plays and things don't go your way. You have to show how you can still bring good out of that. And as our philosophy, we make the next play. As long as we make the next play, we're leading by example. So everybody else will follow in our footsteps, and we'll keep working and finish it out. So the pressure-wise, I don't really feel like it's pressure, because as captain, I feel that's just a statement, because the rest of my team, we have to have everybody to play on that floor. And so I just need my teammates to keep playing.
I know your dad was telling me you've been putting a lot of work in the gym, getting a lot of shots up. I think he mentioned had like over maybe 1,500 shots the other day, just in one day. And he's been wanting to get you some more attempts. Teams are really focusing on you and trying to just keep you from shooting, but what can you do to get more attempts, you think?
I feel like I just don't have to overwork. I feel like the shots will come to me regardless. And even if I don't shoot that well, and as right now, I'm not shooting the best I can, but my teammates behind me, they always keep telling me, keep shooting. Don't think about it. Don't think, just shoot. And to hear that, it's great, because it builds your confidence, and I just keep wanting to shoot. And the shots will come to me. Like Evan, it's great to have him as my point guard, because he gets me looks that I would never think I'd get. He'll be driving somewhere, and he wouldn't even be looking at me. And here comes the ball. I got to be ready at all times. But to get shots by him, it's just he creates things that people don't really see, and that's where I really get my open shots from. So I have to thank him for getting me most of my shots.
Do you have any plans to go into coaching? I know your grandfather and your dad want to continue the legacy.
Yeah, I would love to. It's just I've been around it since I was a little baby. I remember my dad told me I was watching game film in my stroller and car seat and drinking milk. But it's just growing up in that atmosphere. You want to follow in those footsteps, and I would love to carry on that legacy. Like my papa was there, and as my dad's done, he's done a wonderful job, and I just love to follow in those footsteps and do just as great as they did.
I know. I believe it was Evan a little bit ago mentioned playing at Murfreesboro over the summer. I'm a Clinton grad. I also went to MTSU, and I graduated there. What does it mean when you guys went and play and got to see and play in the Glass House?
It just gave us a look because we called that the start. That's where we started, and we want to be back there just where we started. And playing there, it's you realize how much bigger it gets and how much more there is than just the district and region, because whenever you get to that state, it's where you've been working for and where you've been wanting to go. And when we get there, I feel like we'll be ready for anybody that's in our way.
Would you talk a little bit about the DC trip? Did y'all enjoy that? I'm sure. Is that your all's best trip, you think? I know last year you went to Atlanta, and then Mr. Marcus mentioned down in Florida. That DC trip's pretty good.
Yeah, it's special because we all get to go together. The bus rides, everybody sleeps, you take pictures of people sleeping. It's just great memories. You got to see the White House, got to see everything. And the teams you play down there, it gets you ready for situations like going to play down there in the state tournament. And seeing those teams, you don't get to really prepare for them because you don't know much about them. So it lets you, it's kind of like a tournament play. You don't really get to see much about them. You don't get to watch that much. You don't get many days to prepare for them. So you just got to be ready for whoever's there.
And also, you was playing with the shot clock.
Yeah.
How'd you like playing with the shot clock?
I kind of liked it, honestly. I mean, truthfully, just more shots and faster play. I enjoyed it, but it's different. There's a few times we got close to the buzzer, but for the most part, I thought we played pretty good with it, honestly.
Trevor, how'd you like that DC trip? How come you were sitting up in the front of the bus with the old fogies? How come you went back with your teammates?
All right, so back there where they were sitting, there was a bathroom where everybody go pee, and it smells like pee the whole time.
Oh, okay.
And the girls don't stink as bad. Like if they had to fart or something, they're really quiet about it. Yeah.
Well, I was wondering why you was up front. Is that right, boys? Is that what you agree with that?
Oh, Trevor, I love it.
I just thought he was up there just to be up there closer to his mom. That's what I thought. No, not right. No. Well, she might beg to differ now. Sure, he might beg to differ on that.
Yeah. Well, during that trip, you all got to go experience the Knicks versus Wizards game. What was it like being on the floor for that one?
Oh, that was great.
It was definitely different. Just being down there and how big they are, you don't really realize how big they are until you get down there. But I don't know, it was one of the things I'll remember the rest of my life.
My favorite part about being on the floor was actually Sleepy, because I've never seen him that excited in my life seeing them players. It was awesome. I just loved seeing that. But it was really surreal being on that floor and seeing how big of a place those NBA places are.
The highlight of the game, though, was when we lost Sleepy.
Yeah. That is right. I forgot that.
I'll never live that down. I think
We couldn't find him nowhere.
I snuck off there, and I felt bad. I snuck down to the lower level and
got the good seats.
Got the good seats, but I felt bad afterwards, and then I sort of a little late, missing the bus. But
that was fun. That's one of the better trips that, I went on a few trips with my dad when I was younger to Illinois, and when we used to go up there, he had a friend that he went to college with at Southern Illinois that was a high school coach, and we went to Illinois for quite a few years, and then I spent a lot of years going to Wayne County Kentucky, which it was a great tournament for us. The Atlanta trip was fun. I took a team to Illinois myself back in '04. We got invited to that big national tournament, but this trip was different. And maybe because so many of these boys I'm so close to, but the ride up there was just incredible. Our accommodations were great. You know, we got to go visit with Andy Shattuck, a former Dragon, who's the AD at the school, which I really enjoyed. We played two outstanding teams, and I thought we played exceptionally well. Probably should have won both of those games, to be honest with you, if we'd have shot the ball a little better. And then going to the Knicks and Wizards game, I was just excited as they were. Sleepy and I were having a ball. I couldn't video. I had to give my phone to my wife so she could video it. You know, you don't get to do that. How many people have ever got a chance to go do that? It was just it was a great time. The following day out, you know, going to the Washington Mall out there and all that. It was, you know, it was a great trip, and I'm hoping it's one of those trips that these guys, when they're our age and older, will go, you know, that was fun and that was special, and it's something that they'll always remember. So, you know, I'm so glad and thankful that Andy gave us an opportunity to come up there. That was 98% his doing, getting us an opportunity to play in that.
Right, I really enjoyed it, and I appreciate you letting me ride.
We had a great time.
Right, yeah, great time. And but right now we're going to take a break, and we'll be back to wrap up the show. But we'll be back here shortly. You're watching the Locker Room Chat.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We'll buy it on the spot and we'll pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 110,000 participants here in Tennessee who take part in high school sports.
At Earl Duff Subaru, our reputation has been built on taking care of customers. We're Tennessee's only 8-time winner of the Subaru Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. This year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. This means you can be sure you'll have an excellent experience when you visit our store and be proud you're dealing with a company that gives back to local causes. Read our online reviews, then come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
The all-new 2020 Outback is available now with financing as low as 0.9% at Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat. We're joined by Clinton Dragon head basketball coach Chris Lockard and his seniors. Right now, Coach, if you would just talk a little bit about the game last night against Central, a big district win, proved us to 5-2 in the district and second place behind Oak Ridge. So Talk about that game. What kind of defense was y'all playing?
That's secret.
Amoeba?
That's secret. Actually, we just make a few adjustments out of our man-to-man defense. We threw a couple of little adjustments, but, you know, for the most part, we took, obviously, Trace Wandale. We call him Doug. So when I say Doug, we're talking about Trace Wandale. You know, typically we find the one kid on an opposing team that we want to eliminate or limit how many touches they get. He had the one assignment, and Central has an outstanding point guard, and he and Evan have been going at each other since they were little. I mean, they've had some wars. I was holding Evan for later in the game to go against him, but we put a sophomore, Jackson Garner, on him. Jackson's a very steady defender on the perimeter. He uses his mind as much as he does his body. And the Summers kid is a tough guard. He can create with the bounce. He can shoot it from deep. He's big and strong. And so we tried to limit those two guys, and then typically what we do is we'll let Trevor and DeMarcus or Skylar, and for the most part Chase. We'll take Chase and let him be our help guy. He's the guy that we know we can double with. He knows and reads the floor very well. I mean, he better. He's seen enough film, so he better. But he's really good at knowing where to be and how to be, you know, up the line, down the line, too much help, not enough. And that allows us to take kids like Doug and Jackson and let them focus on one guy. And when it gets to crunch time, it's no secret. Evan's going to go guard their guy. That's what we try to do. Evan has to play so many minutes. I try to find areas that I can rest him. Like last night, he called a timeout late in the game. I didn't want a timeout right then, but he was breathing so hard, he called one himself, which he has the freedom to do that, and that gave him his 1 minute break. But I think the biggest thing that Sleepy is what we talked about, the emergence of DeMarcus and Trevor controlling the paint and the other team's big men. That's been our missing link. And for the last 4 or 5 games, you know, DeMarcus brought us home one night, and last night Trevor brought us home on the stretch. They're playing almost as good as I can expect. You know, offensively, Evan, I didn't realize he had 30. It was a quiet 30. And when you can score a quiet 30, then you're doing something right. He scored from the three, he scored from the line, he scored from drives, he scored on the post, and distributed the ball and kept our team in so much poise throughout the night. They tried to press us and they couldn't. They tried to man us and they couldn't. They tried to take away things and they couldn't. And 95% of the time it was the ball in Evan's hands. So I really think, as many great games as I've seen him play, that's probably his best package, offensively, defensively, distributing the ball and scoring. It was something to watch. When I got home last night and finally was able to get the film up, I watched it. And I was a little bit jealous because I'm still mad at him since he broke my record last year. But to watch a kid just play that easy is something to see, and it's a pleasure to coach, and it's been fun watching him grow. But I think it's the little things that we weren't able to do the last couple of years to be able to eliminate an opponent. I mean, Doug has shut down 4 or 5 premier scorers in our district and held a couple of them to 0. And Jackson Garner, like I said, has really stepped up that part of his game. But, you know, just a great overall team game for us last night.
You know, speaking of Jackson Garner, he had the three big three-pointers. I thought it sort of put a nail in the coffin for the Bobcats. And he's just a sophomore and a special player. Plus, you got a special group of sophomores. Trace Thagerson, Lane Harrison,
Rashawn Bright, and Tyler Morgan and Hunter Rupert both are hurt right now, but Tyler Morgan's going to be a very similar to Trevor Bryant. He's big and strong, so it's a great group.
Can't keep Morgan healthy, can you?
Well, he's been struggling with that ankle after he had that knee injury last year. So.
Sick up in D.C.
Yeah, he was sick. So we'll get him going. He's a tough kid. He's fun to coach. You'll like to watch him play. He's an old school player. He beats and bangs and rebounds and strong, and he's super smart on the floor. He's fun to coach. He's going to be a good player for us.
Yeah, he's a nice young man. I asked him last night, I said, what happened to you? He said, he just said things. Things. I said, things. He said, yeah, just things.
Just things.
Like,
that sounds like
but,
him.
Yeah, we get him back, hopefully here.
Yeah.
For
he can
the
be a factor for us as it goes.
The guys are switching back to the boys over here. You know, you play with those sophomores, just a great group of guys. I know y'all are the seniors and the leaders of the team, but let's talk a little bit about the sophomores. You want to crack on them, that's fine. But what do you think about those guys? A big part.
The sophomores, they have a great class. They don't realize how good each one of them are and how big of a role each one of them have. And like Jackson Garner last year as a freshman starting, and then now he's got a big role. I did the same. Like, I've been there, so I get it. There's going to be ups and downs, but for the most part, he's just played great, scored the ball, did what we need him to do. And then Trey Stack comes in, hits big shots. He can handle it when he needs to. And then we bring Rashawn in. He can guard anybody. Him and Doug are definitely two of our better defenders. And then Lane, his size and just his IQ, he helps a lot too. But he don't realize he's as good as he's going to be yet. He'll be a lot better. And 2
minutes.
Yeah.
Now we got a couple minutes. Marcus, what do you think about the sophomores?
I think their group has a lot of potential, and I think they just have to realize that and work hard to get where they need to be. Because we have some problems in practice when they don't want to work as hard as we do or something like that. But that's a typical sophomore, though, you know? And then growing up helps, too, like aging. Just wisdom comes with it, you know, knowledge. So.
Hey, Trevor. Trevor, somebody's got to take a shot at the sophomores. Maybe you take a shot at them.
No.
Anything?
Here, Chase.
Take a shot at them?
Nah, I won't really take a shot. The only shot I really have on is we argue with them about if our group's better than their group. That's the only really thing we get at, but they're really special.
5-on-5 with them?
Oh, yeah, we do it all the time. We go at it. We smack them.
Put them in the place, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, before we go, guys, we got about a little over a minute. You'll just give a shout out. You got a shout out for anyone out there?
Shout out to all my family and my nana.
Shout out to my family. They don't come to my games much, but they're there supporting me all the time.
Just thank God, first of all, and my family. They've came to every game, played good, bad, whatever. They tell me I played good, knowing I'm mad at myself, but they're still telling me I played good, even if I had a bad game. But
like they said, just thankful for my family, and shout out to them.
30 seconds. Skylar, got a shout out, and Tyler, Trevor.
Like Evan said, thank God for first off, but shout out to my family and everybody.
15 seconds. Take us out, Trevor.
I just want to say thank you to Big Jason. He's shown me how to be competitive, and BJ Best. He's shown me how to play basketball, and I want to thank my family more than everything. They do a lot for me.